Okay, so let's begin. First of all, good morning, everybody. My name is John Roslowski. Joining me today on our webinar is Saeed Bashir from Royal Cyber, and we also invited one of our customers, Craig McCraskey, to be able to join us from Aramark Healthcare Services. What I'd like to do today is go through some preliminary slides about what is Portal, where it fits, how it works. Then allow Saeed to talk a little bit about how the concept, what they can provide as to the concept of the portal as a business partner, and then probably why most of you are here is to listen to Craig showcase what they've been able to, what Aramark has been able to do with WebSphere Portal, with the Web Content Manager, and how to tie some of these pieces together. If you have any questions, I will beg you, please, if you can hold off till the end, we'll have a Q&A session, or if you'd like to post them in the chat, at least we'll be able to keep a roll of some of the questions that are coming up and possibly even answer them online as we go along. So without further ado, the only other thing I am going to ask is if you do have a link to the online meeting, please click it so you can follow along with the slides. So let's get started. As I mentioned earlier, as part of the agenda, just a brief description of what is Portal, where it fits, how it works, how some of these pieces fit together, and how to go about getting started. We're going to go over a little bit about what the business partner can provide, in this case, specifically Royal Cyber, one of our premier IBM business partners. And then they actually hear from the customer, their story, how they started on this down this path, how things evolved, and where are they today. So let me ask you just a high-level question. When you think of the word portal, what's the first thing that comes to mind? And if you're in the if you're in the IT side of the house, I mean, set some of that knowledge aside, or if you're at the line of business, just kind of take a step back and ask yourself, what is a portal? The way I view a portal, or the way a lot of people view portal, is give me a spot that I can come to where within a very short period of time, all the information that is very important to me, I can see immediately. In this case, you're looking at my Yahoo page, right? When I bring up my Yahoo, this is what pops up for me. So you'll see stuff here that appears on the right-hand side. I get news feeds from the BBC, USA Today, and CNN. Down the middle, I get the news feeds from Yahoo broken out into, the world, some of the local stuff in business. And then on the left-hand side, just, some interesting little information, stocks, the scoreboard, the weather, little pieces like this. But in one quick view, I can actually see what's happening today, right? What's going on in the news, what's going on in the markets, what's actually going out, going out outside, and if there are any sporting events that I could potentially start making plans for, although the hockey season is not up there, but don't get me started, right? But again, this is stuff that's important to me. Now, how does this translate into the enterprise model or the business model? Well, portals specifically for business are designed the same way, right? How do I bring together content, applications, process, and people together? Now, again, IT can do this in a very challenging way, trying to integrate these individual pieces together. Right? But there's got to be an easier way. And the way we solve this is through this concept of a portal. Now, portals came about 10 years ago, specifically when a lot of companies were going through mergers and acquisitions, and they were trying to figure out, right, how do I separate the display layer? How do I separate the display layer from, some of the workflow or some of the back-end stuff, right? How do I make that front end through the browser a little easier to interact with, right? So the whole concept of portals came about that way. It was primarily designed to integrate and aggregate many different applications and bring them together on the screen, right? But applications were only one piece of this equation. There were other components, things like content, things like cloud, right? These are all of the components that needed to be brought into the equation. And now all of a sudden collaboration services and then some of the computer feed, or the consumer feeds. What a portal allows me to do, because we're breaking apart the display layer from all the back-end stuff, I, from an IT perspective, have now got a lot of additional choices, right? Now again, applications, it could be anything, right? If you're using SAP, great. If you're using business objects or the Oracle portfolios or stuff you've written yourself, it doesn't matter, right? We can bring those pieces together. If you're building content or maintaining content in different repositories, those can be exposed. If today you're looking at leveraging cloud-based services, that's another way that these things can be brought together on that same page. And building that page, what I'm trying to do is focus my viewer, so they can focus on getting their job done. I don't want them flipping to 12 different screens. I mean, with so many different options today, we get real easily distracted. I mean, as technical people is one thing, but as line of business users, it's just as bad. So how do you keep people focused? And from the IT side of the house, if you look at some of the items along the right-hand side here, hides complexity, consolidation, personalization, self-service, these are all the things that Portal addresses for you. The big ones these days, believe it or not, are still multi-channel support because of the mobile thing and single sign-on. It's still amazing how many people are challenged with multiple usernames and multiple passwords within their day-to-day application interaction experience. The other thing to take into account is there's this concept of reusability. Let me build something once, and now based on a person's role, their authentication level, their access control list, or even a set of business rules, I can expose certain things to that viewer based on any of those pieces of criteria. And what's nice is I get to build that portlet or that little view into the application once and then be able to leverage it across some of these multiple platforms. And a couple things to consider. When you are building this design or this architecture or trying to leverage these frameworks, keep these 4 different groups in mind. Is it going to be an internal or an external facing type of an experience? Am I building something for an individual or can I do something for the group? What's nice about a Portal framework, this exceptional web experience, is I can address all of these constituencies very quickly and very easily. A couple of quick examples. If you look at Lufthansa, the way they've built out their website, this is also this is one of our marquee accounts for WebSphere Portal. Right? They took advantage of single sign-on. They took advantage of search, of some of the mobile capabilities. They took advantage of some of the, again, multilingual capabilities. If they ever go through a merger and they want to do some reskinning, the themes or the branding and the navigation can very easily change because they don't have to go back and start testing out some of the other components like the self-service pieces. From a scalability and a reliability perspective, one of the great success stories we had with them was when all of a sudden the volcano in Iceland exploded, and it seriously impacted travel across all of Europe. The Lufthansa website, all of a sudden their traffic went up by almost 6 to 8-fold, and they were very easily able to handle it because of the infrastructure that they built it on, which was WebSphere Portal. Another great example is, another great example is Florida Blue Cross Blue Shield, right? They also build their website because if you looked at, who their quote customers are, you actually had, the folks that are members. You had folks that are looking to become Florida Blue Cross Blue Shield members. You then had the service providers as well as some of the employees. These are all people that participate in this. And what was nice about the Florida Blue leveraging our portal was they were able to quickly provide this type of a view for each of those different roles within their organization, both external facing and internal facing, and leverage things like forms, a single user interface, links to social media, as well as integration with third-party services and back-end solutions, whether they be application-based or web content-based. Now, just if you permit me to brag just a little bit, I mean, we've been doing this for 10 years with WebSphere Portal, actually 11 now because we first released WebSphere Portal in 2001. We've got roughly about anywhere from 10 to 12,000 customers worldwide. About half of them are actually considered small to mid-size. So if you're a mid-sized customer or a small-sized customer and you're looking, well, let's see, John showed us, the Lufthansa website and Blue Cross Blue Shield. We're never going to grow that big. Portal can scale very nicely because there are days that you may be starting out small, like a little French perfume company, which is probably one of our smallest customers right now, to potentially a very large customer. This is a retailer, a big box retailer that's based out of the United States. I mean, Gartner has given us some great ratings. We've been rated leaders in the Portal Magic Quadrant for the past 9 years in a row. And again, we've got a lot of big banks, retailers, telcos, healthcare providers, and lots of governments taking advantage of our technology, both for internal use as well as external use. And one of the things, if you ever want to get an idea of who's using our portal, or if you like to borrow design ideas of how did they design this, right? How are they leveraging some of the carousel capabilities? What are they doing with with the responsive design? Go out to Google, turn off Safe Search, and do a lookup on WPS/portal. You'll notice about 16 million or so results. I wish it was 16 million customers, but these are actually the number of pages. But they're grouped by some of the different customers. So Miami-Dade, you've got Honeywell Aerospace, 3M, Alcatel-Lucent, a number of different websites pop up. And these are folks that are using WebSphere Portal externally. But the point of this exercise is if you want to get ideas of how people are designing websites, based on who their viewers are or who they're targeting it, this is an absolutely excellent place to go. So to kind of summarize this section, right, what we're trying to do is provide you a set of tools, a set of frameworks to allow you to very quickly build websites that make sense specifically for your audience. Some of the things we're working on now that are very hot in the market are things like mobile support, the ability to link to many different social communities, both inside and outside your firewall. Rich media, again, the stuff that's coming out from a video perspective is very hot and very important right now. Analytics, how do you determine what people are clicking on, what's working, what isn't working? And then the concept of context. Right? How do you do this? How do you do this within the context of the web content environment? Case in point, if I'm looking at a specific transaction or something structured on, through a commerce site, how does other stuff that comes from web content fit into what I'm trying to do? That's all about the concept of personalization. So I'm done with my section now. What I'd like to do is turn it over to Saeed and have him talk a little bit about what the folks at Royal Cyber can provide and how they add value to both the customers as well as leveraging some of the technology.
Okay, thanks, John. Can you hear me? Okay. So, we are IBM's premier business partners, Royal Cyber, and we are based out in Naperville. It's like a suburb from Chicago. And if you see, we are worldwide in North America, Asia, Europe, Africa, and Middle East. And if you see, we provide consulting and, training as well as, technical support for all the IBM customized solutions. And we provide offerings span from web-based development to complex software applications, as well as mobile platforms, e-business, and e-commerce solutions. Okay. So we help companies globally tackle the key challenges, and these are our IBM key solutions which we provide to our customers. WebSphere Application Server, Message Broker, WebSphere Portal, Enterprise Modernization, Rational, Commerce, BI, Tivoli, and all these tools. So this is our Royal Cyber's experience with Aramark's Healthcare Portal solutions. We support Aramark's Healthcare Portal to provide a single view and point of access to the business users, and the integration with Aramark's Healthcare's backend systems like e-commerce systems, Cognos, content management, Lotus Quicker to manage the whole documents to provide a single point of access. And we also provide 24/7 support for the infrastructure, development support of existing modules, administration support, content management support, and enhancement and new module implementations. And this is Royal Cyber's general WebSphere Portal services and offerings. Okay, so we help customers in integrating portal applications with content management, We help integrating with the Lotus for blogs, chats, and all those, etc. And we also help in integrating with business intelligence for creating reports, dashboards from, multiple data sources, and integrating with social media like Facebook, Twitter, etc. And mobile devices, like integrating portal with, mobile devices like smartphones, iPhones, Blackberries, iPads, and all, as a single source of code, right? We also help in creating Web 2.0 application using Ajax and Dojos and today's modern Web 2.0 technology, and integrating with Portal Experience Factory, as well as we also provide complimentary 40 hours of support for all our new customers in terms of migrations, as well as if you have any issues in terms of portal health check, or in terms of getting the portal licenses, etc. So you can always contact Royal Server. So with this, I'm going to hand over to Mr. Craig McCroskey, who is going to present us the success story of Portal Solution in Aramark Healthcare. So let me make Craig as a presenter here. So Craig, you have the controls now.
Okay, thank you, Syed. So what I'm going to do today is just walk through a little bit of the overview of the business that we currently support within Aramark Healthcare with the WebSphere Portal Solution, talk about how we arrived at the Portal Solution and selected WebSphere, and then some of the value that it provides for our business. Within Aramark, we are using WebSphere Portal for a specialized small business, actually within the wide and large Aramark group and within the healthcare, and it provides some specialized services to our clients. Whereas most of Aramark is known for providing managed services, that is, the clients outsource their complete facility and hospitality services to our healthcare division. This business supplies specific services to clients that augment their operations. So we don't take over the whole business, but actually provide value-added services to them that then they don't have to build up the infrastructure and expertise for. So for example, supply chain. Our clients for this business unit leverage our overall supply chain in Canada and our expertise there, and then we have some added value with the commerce application that we offer online and some critical information distribution. Food service is a critical element for our clients, and we provide, as noted here, expertise to meet regulatory requirements and dietary recommendations for their customers who are depending on them for food service in our healthcare world. And additionally, we have training materials, which is a continued renewal need for our customers. They continue to need to be certified and have positions that need continued education. So our business uses the website as a customer-facing B2B transaction, business-to-business transaction platform, and I've been doing this for about 10 years. And even though through those 10 years, at kind of a midpoint, about 5 years, we went through and said, okay, where are we with the business? Took a hard look at some challenges to the growing business, fortunately, but also the way it was evolving. And we looked at the ability for our existing web technology that had been in place since 2003 to address those challenges. What I've talked here a little bit about is some of the issues we encountered. First of all, the velocity of web content changes. It's not just the rate of change, but the volume of change. And what was happening there is that when they needed new information posted or wanted some changes to stuff, it wasn't a self-service with the business. They were having to depend on IT and technical skills to make those changes. So what we were looking at was wanting to have consistency across multiple sources and giving the business the governance control over the content. We had competing branding requirements. Not only did we have different branding for multiple operating companies within Aramark and within this business unit we support, but the customers wanted to co-brand, so they wanted to see their logos out there. They wanted this to look like a seamless transaction as part of their other web-based offerings. Next thing we found is kind of the application proliferation, and we found that operating companies needed very same or very close or even the same applications, but things were spread out. John referenced the single sign-on, the multiple logins. That's one of the things that we wanted to avoid, was a continued proliferation where people were having to go log in to different applications to get access to it. And since our business unit is in Canada, we do have the Quebec requirements for supporting multilingual, specifically Canada English and French. So with those challenges in mind, we basically started a technology investigation around June of 2008, and about 3 months later we kind of confirmed that Portal was the technology solution that we wanted to put in place. We were looking at a couple different Portal offerings from different vendors. We went through a design process and kind of laid out what we were looking for from the Portal, went out with an RFP in the March timeframe, and then selected the WebSphere as a Portal platform. We also selected a partner to help us with Portal development, and then about 7 months later we were live with our first Portal environment. Now, one of the things that helped us is that we chose to externally host it, so we didn't have to necessarily bring up all the infrastructure. We were able to get there quickly and bring this to market fast, which was one of the things that we wanted to attack. And then about 3 months later, we went live with our second company Portal, all running on the same infrastructure. So why WebSphere? I mentioned that the speed to market was important for us. The Portlet Factory, I guess now called the Web Experience Factory, was key to us in that we were able to crank out a variety of portlets very quickly. We did not want to go to market with kind of a partial solution. We actually shut down the previous website as this one went live. So it had to be a big bang approach, so we had a lot of development we had to get done. IBM had a very good product direction that we clearly understood and was aligned with where we were going. Also, the build versus buy. We didn't get just a Portal. We got content management applications built in and integrated with the Portal, and then collaboration tools for the future, as we knew that was one place we wanted to go. So this really for us was a platform decision. This was the system to run the business and provide a critical customer-facing presence, and certainly was not a decision that was taken lightly, and we spent a lot of time going through it, including the request for proposals out to the market. In the next few slides, I'd like to show some of the features we took advantage of and the benefits that brought to Aramark. Over on the right-hand side, you'll see just a couple screenshots of a couple of the different branded portals that we have. Again, this is a platform that needed to support multiple businesses, different customer groups, and also to bring forth different capabilities or applications. And this, what you see, is the landing pages for two of our operating companies. You can notice that the branding is different. So we've got two different brands there. The colors for these two companies happen to be the same, but it's very easy within the themes to make that change if you want to do that. The apps that are listed here along the tabs underneath the logo, you'll notice they're different, not just multilingual. We've chosen down here just to show you the French version of this, which can be changed over to English as well, but also that there's different numbers of apps that are available for different groups. And additionally, probably one of the biggest things here is the tailored content. And for us, the third bullet here was really huge, that we wanted the business staff to be able to update content and publish it out to the web without us having to be involved, without us having to involve the IT technical resources. In fact, on the next slide, just to give you an example, on the business was very tired of having to request IT to do something and then have to wait for it. And the IT was tired of the business requests, and then, of course, the business pushing for faster response. So this was huge for us to lead to our decision or our desire to have something that the business was more self-service. So with the web content management capabilities of the WebSphere portal, we provided the business for templates for them to create rich text content and then publish it with what could be built-in review and approval workflow, and then be able to expire the content based on rules or manually go in and do that. So we gave them the full life cycle information management, and we did it through using customizable templates, and then here's a screen of what would be published out. So now the business governed and executed their content management by themselves. And this information can be very simple, or it can be more complex with hierarchies and different content types. So one of the areas you're seeing here is our education section of a portal, which has multi-level topic organization. So first of all, at the top, we are able to develop these applications independently and provide that single sign-on view. So they've authenticated once. They want to go to education, so they come in here. And then, as I indicated, the business can create these additional topics and add these. So they've got a template that they can go through and do that. And then additionally, they're actually able to attach collateral to it. So here you see like some PDF and some Flash files where they're totally independent, able to go through and build this out, whether new topics or adding related additional topics to the hierarchy here. So if we drill a little bit more into the application organization and the hierarchy there, you see here's a snippet of a portal screen. Up at the top, the first page, we show the administrators, so the Aramark employees of our business unit. And the bottom is a customer view. So you can see that there are some differences between them. First of all, the blue bar up here providing the additional access to different navigation, as well as access to different applications specifically to manage the data, reports, etc. Although not shown here, some customers will see that blue bar because their profile will provide them access to multiple capabilities. So for example, distributor invoices, if the unit is in looking at distributor and they want to download the invoices, they can do that from there, but they would not have these management capabilities that are really administrators. I'd like to point out one thing here is that you'll notice there's distributor and there's distributor enhancements. This is a project that we have going on right now with Royal Cyber. What we're able to do is in our one environment, we're able to introduce this tab without any impact to the other tabs. So we've got that going through QA and test, and in fact it just went live in production last night. And so it was as simple as we turn the distributor tab off and we turn this one on for our users, and thereby we've introduced basically a new revised version of this application without having to interrupt our customer experience. So personalized profiles, we talked about in the last slide about showing kind of the application, the capability for limiting that. Here you see at the top a user profile provides access to all the data. So you can notice that there's a number of contacts here on this page, whereas a user profile, they can only see a territory plus maybe the national contacts. So here they only see 5 because their profile says I'm in British Columbia, so those people who are close to British Columbia are the ones I want to see, whereas the Ontario ones or other ones in other provinces would only be seen by the administrator at the top. Additionally, notice the data management capability. So there's data view that we're limiting through the profile, but we're also, the administrator view has this capability to edit, add contacts, to go in and edit, delete contacts, and those are just simply missing from the user. So it's built in that we can go in and build these profiles out and control both access to the applications and the navigation, as well as the data management capabilities. So that's kind of the screenshots, the things I wanted to walk through, the capabilities, just as a summary of what we've gained and how this has met our challenges and continues to as we look going forward. The first thing, and John referenced the scale and efficiency. So for us, it was we need a platform that's going to support our growing business, but we big time do not want to overburden the support administrative staff of Aramark and our clients. And I think the portal, through its capability to manage centrally, but while supporting local needs, was a huge win for us. For Aramark, we had one platform to manage. For the customer, they had one place to go. And both of those have been huge benefits for us and our customers. We promote the company brand. So that's something that we, by tailoring our themes, our logos and things, we're able to change that as our marketing messages and view to the customer changes. And also with the co-branding capability, we've been able to give the customers an association to their business, not just to see it as CPS helping them, but see us integrated with them. The big thing for us was focusing the information, the resources and applications. So the role-based access controls, the capability to only have to build that in one place, i.e. in the portal, to work on or to accomplish that, delivering focus and targeted information has been a big win for us, and one that we often forget because it's just kind of there, and now we take it for granted. But when you think about rolling out a new app and all the stuff that has to go through authenticating and authorizing the users, this is just a huge thing that comes with us already built. We just attach to it. More of the benefits. The first one there, what we wanted to do was pull our customers in. We wanted them to connect to us through this portal that had some dynamic abilities to it that we wouldn't be able to accomplish with just pure kind of web technology. Also going forward, we didn't want just to connect to us, but also to connect to each other. So the collaboration tools in the community that's built in and added to the portal was a huge value for us, and one of the things that we're starting to look at as we go forward at using more and more of that. I mentioned the kind of the focused information. It truly does mitigate risk for our clients. If you think about in the food service area, there are certain alerts and things that you need to be alerted to very quickly. This is big, and for us also just giving them one place where they can get industry news, links to places both within and outside of the portal is huge. I've probably spoken enough about the control and consistency it helped us bring to our content. And last but not least, again, it's a platform, and that's been a huge win for us, is that we brought in a platform that we continue to build on. That it was not just a one-time build of the portal, though that was a big project. For the last 3 years, we've been enhancing and building out new applications with like our partner with Royal Cyber. And that concludes my part of the presentation, John.
Thanks, Craig. That was awesome. That was just amazing. So let me see if I could just close out, and then we'll open up to a few questions here. All right. Hopefully everybody is seeing my screen now. Okay. So in summary, Craig did a wonderful job of explaining how they've taken advantage of some of the parts, some of the pieces, some of the capabilities, the frameworks, how they leverage the applications and some of the web content to be able to create specific views for some of the viewers, whether they're external facing or internal facing. But a few other capabilities to keep in mind. What our exceptional web experience provides is it gives you the ability to quickly tailor things and do things specifically for the individuals, right? Around, whether it's the web, whether it's social, whether it's some of the qualitative metrics. right? It allows you to quickly deliver this web experience by bringing these components together, and then also allowing things like self-service. I mean, Craig, one of the key business initiatives was allow the line of business to be able to create and manage their own content. Right? How do I engage some of these individuals in some of these communities? I mean, a lot of this stuff, and I know Aramark has designed it primarily for the browser, but I'm going to have a couple of questions for Craig in a little bit that I'd like him to address about what are some of their plans going forward with different devices and some of the different channels. Right? And then being able to provide some of this feedback, whether it's, all right, what are users clicking on, through the analytics model, or even things like being able to comment or to be able to tag certain pieces of content that are out there, or be able to make certain suggestions about certain products and services. I mean, we've been focusing on this and these capabilities within the context of WebSphere Portal for quite some time, to the point where we've created these two bundles. One is called the Customer Experience Suite. The other one is called the IBM Intranet Experience Suite, or probably a better description would be an Employee Experience Suite, to be able to bring together a certain set of products to allow you to build websites like you just heard Craig describe, leveraging Web Content Manager, the core portal frameworks, IBM Forms, and then leveraging wonderful development tools like the Web Experience Factory Designer that you can either take advantage of yourself or work with a business partner like Royal Cyber to help you to quickly be able to build some of these capabilities. And again, and I'm not going to go through some of the foundational capabilities on the bottom because we've probably discussed and showcased a lot of them. Again, if you need additional information, there's plenty of places to go. We've got the brochures that are available out here, white papers, demos. There's a bunch of stuff out on YouTube if you want to see how to interact with some of our new web content capabilities. All of these are live links. If you do download the presentation, you'll be able to get to every one of these different resources. And if you're not sure, please don't hesitate to reach out to your IBM sales rep or to your favorite IBM business partner to be able to ask them more questions or follow-up questions around being able to build these exceptional web experiences for internal or external use, taking advantage of Social Portal, taking advantage of some of the mobile capabilities. So let's see if we can open this up for a few questions. Craig, I'm going to unmute your line as well as Saeed. And one question I have for you, Craig, and this has just been burning me up as I've been listening, throughout your entire presentation. So what are the next steps? I mean, you've done such a wonderful job of integrating IT capabilities with line of business capabilities, basically leveraging the best we have to offer within the context of WebSphere Portal. What's next on your list?
I think the first thing to say is our business never slows down. I think now that they've figured out that they can manage their own content, they realize that, well, let's use IT to create value then. And one of the things, we just have ongoing projects. Right now we're in the midst of a project to build a whole new capability into the portal. So we've got development projects that are going on. I mentioned the enhancement, which has been a long project and been really thought through with our what we call our distributor yellow pages. And then we've got some stuff going on core elements of the food service. So the development continues of these apps all the time. But from a overall overarching kind of direction, we have not yet really taken advantage of the social elements of the web. We've done a few little tests, some internal business unit work, but we have. Hey, Jared, we can see you. That's pretty nifty. So we are looking to take more advantage of the communities and the social capabilities within the portal, and that's been one we had to kind of tread lightly, because anytime you're dealing with a business, you certainly have the same kind of thing with consumers and external customers in terms of, well, what are they going to say and do in the business world? There are certain areas where you want to have that same kind of overarching kind of control or visibility in what's going on. So that's kind of a steady thing that we continue working on and exploring, is what to do in the social and communities area. The mobile is becoming much bigger for us. Our users have not typically, they've been slower to adopt to the mobile platform, so we've been able to not have to jump in on the bleeding edge of that, but we're now at a point where bringing either focused applications potentially to a smartphone where you could easily look up contacts that are important to your business that you may have not stored in your own little directory, that you can go get that information from our portal that we provide. We can put that on a smartphone, to some of our other applications, for example, the education capabilities, some of the things around our core menu and recipe capabilities, to put those on a little bit larger platform like a tablet. So mobile will be 2013 for us, going in that direction. Additionally, we are a Cognos user. We've collected a lot of information on our users within the portal in terms of their activities. So kind of using that to get some insight and do some analysis of how people are using the portal and how that can maybe help us deliver a better experience.
Wonderful, wonderful. Thank you. Saeed, I've got a quick question for you as well. I know Royal Cyber engages with many different customers. If you kind of had to take a step back, right, and just kind of describe what are some of the typical engagements, meaning when a customer is going down the path of evaluating a exceptional web experience, right? What are some of the tasks that Royal Cyber provides to help guide them through that process, where they can finally come up with, all right, here's a solution that IT can live with, here's a solution that the line of business can live with?
I mean, like from the Royal Cyber's perspective, like we provide, help in terms of like creating POCs. Like we can help in terms of like, what is demonstrating the whole product, like what is Web Experience Factory, and how we can create, like Web 2.0 solutions using Web Experience Factory through WebSphere Portal Solutions. So definitely we can help the IT team in terms of like demonstrating the whole Web Experience Factory. And from the business perspective, we can help you in like, evaluating the return of investment. Like if you go with the portal solution and Web Experience Factory, like we can help in terms of like showing the other customers case studies and how they have benefited using Web Experience Factory and the portal solutions. So as a business partners, we can help both the IT team as well as the business team in terms of, evaluation and return of investment.
Wonderful, thank you. Now I know there's a bunch of people in the conference on the phone. I didn't notice any questions pop up in the chat. So what I'd like to do is, and if I could do this safely, unmute everyone. And if you have a question, please feel free to speak up. Craig, Saeed, and myself are on the line. We'll be happy to answer them. So anybody interested in anybody have a question, please feel free to ask. Oh, you're going to let us off the hook easy, aren't you? All right, I guess we got a bunch of bashful people here, or Craig, you did such a great job of explaining this that we won't have to worry about it. So,
you did.
Without wasting any additional time, first I want to say thank you. My sincere thanks for your attendance on this call on behalf of IBM, on behalf of Royal Cyber, and most importantly on behalf of one of our key customers, Aramark Healthcare. Thank you for participating on this call. And again, if you have any further questions or any follow-up questions, feel free to reach out to either Royal Cyber or to IBM. We'd be happy to address them. Have a great day, and again, thank you for your time.